All right, so just to do this overview, and again, this isn't exactly the same Audient board that we have at school, but it's similar enough that we can use it easily. So first of all, you've got your input pod up here. Remember that you've got two meters. These 2 meters, you've got the long meter and the short meter here. And this long meter gives us a lot of information about our input signal. The default setting of this long meter is that it's going to be on our input path. So the input path here is the default setting for that, and that's okay, but we really, the default setting is the monitor path, and we want it to be on the input path. So monitor path is fine for mixing, but the input path is what we need it for when we're doing recording. So what we're going to do is we're going to push this meter button right here, this MTR button, meter button here, and that flips the two meters back and forth here. So you press this meter button, it flips these meters here. So now it's on the input path, so we can be able to see what we're doing a little bit better. So once you get that going, you're going to have whatever you're recording, have that person playing their instrument or whatever it is that they're doing, and you're going to have them recording. You're going to be watching this meter here, and you're going to turn up your gain here. Now, before you turn up the gain, you might have to press that 48 volt button. The 48 volt button is for it's for your phantom power, and that's if you're using like a condenser mic. If you're using a dynamic mic or a ribbon microphone, do not press that 48 volt button, only if you're using a condenser microphone. So you've got the button pressed if you need it or not if you don't, and you turn up the gain, and you're going to start to see the level bouncing up and down here and doing its thing. And you want to get that level nice and hot, not too hot, but you can get it up. So you got that there, and like you don't want it to clip. Clipping is obviously too hot, and you don't want it down here because that's going to be too quiet. You want it to be right in this like sweet spot here, so it's nice and loud, because you can always adjust it back later on. If it's the only thing you can't do is if it clips, that's going to be a problem. So we've got that here. Get our level set here, and now what we're going to do is come down here, and on the short fader, you're going to push this mix button and turn the fader up until you can hear it, and make sure that what you think you should be hearing is what you are hearing. So if it's supposed to be a trumpet, if the person's playing a trumpet, you want to make sure that you're hearing a trumpet. It should sound like a trumpet. You don't want to hear a lot of pops and crackles and things like that. If you're getting pops and crackles and things, that means that there's probably a bad connection or a bad cable or something like that. So you want to make sure that you're checking every signal that you have in. Now, if you're just doing one microphone, one person in a room, it's not that big a deal. It's pretty easy to figure out where things go wrong. Really, the reason why I'm talking about this stuff in such detail is because when you're dealing with a lot of people at the same time, like big recordings, orchestras, stuff like that, it becomes a lot more of an issue to troubleshoot things. So you want to make sure that you go through and you listen to every microphone that you set up, make sure you test it all carefully, make sure you're checking things and making sure it's all working properly. So, and this is troubleshooting. When something goes wrong, you want to know how you can troubleshoot really easily. So this will help you. If you follow through these steps, this will help you to troubleshoot really easily. So we've got our signal coming in. It sounds like a trumpet, for example. We're saying great here. Let's just say we're on, let's go over here to channel, let's do channel 16 here at the end, or channel 15 rather. So you got it going on. It's right here, and set that up, and we go up here like this, and we can see, okay, we've got a signal, and this one here is all the way down, so we're not getting any signal. Why are we not hearing any signal? That's kind of weird. Well, that's because our gain is all the way down. Okay, cool. So we turn the gain up, look at channel 14 here, and we're getting a nice loud signal. Great. Okay, cool. So we're ready to go. So what we're going to do here is we're going to unpush the mix button. The mix button should be unpushed. It should be up. And that way we're not going to hear anything anymore. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we are going to send the signal using our routing matrix up here, the routing matrix. We're going to send that signal over to our multi-track recorder. In this case, it's Pro Tools. In this case, channel 14. So we want to send that signal over to channel 14, the input 14 on Pro Tools. So we would hit the 14 button on our routing matrix here. In that case, you're going to have to hit the Shift button, and you're going to have to hit the 14. So you can see this one here is a little bit different. This one's got 8 buttons up here instead of 12 buttons. So 8 buttons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm not exactly sure how theirs is set up, but let's say this is 14 here, and it sends it out to group out number 14, coming into Pro Tools, input number 14. So on Pro Tools, you're going to set your input signal to 14. So if I go over here, let me just launch Pro Tools real quick, and I'll show you what I mean by this. And on my version of Pro Tools, I don't have 14 inputs, so we're just going to make it happen. But just to show you how this would work. Okay. Create Audient input setup. Okay, let's say if I have a C24 mix, let's do this. Let's see what this does.